Here in America, work is in trouble. We've offshored our manufacturing, sent away good jobs, and lost so much ability to make things. American Giant is a company that's pushing back against this tide. They make high-quality clothing, sweatshirts, jeans, dresses, jackets, and so much more, right here in the USA. Visit American-Giant.com and get 20% off your first order when you use code STAPLE20 at checkout. That's 20% off your first order at American-Giant.com, promo code STAPLE20.
Always follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Welcome in. Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. This show is brought to you by DraftKings. We'll continue talking National Football League here and some of the games on the Week 17 slate. The Sunday night game, NFC North divisional battle, Packers playing at the Vikings. Movement yesterday after the news from the Vikings side. Kevin O'Connell made the decision to go with Jaren Hall this week, the rookie quarterback for the Vikes against Green Bay, and that move dropped down from Vikings laying 2 points in the game. It's now pick'em. It moved to pick'em. Eventually took a little bit because I was actually in front of the screen and in front of Twitter when this all broke. I was able to tie in the Packers on a teaser to go up above 8 or above 7 at that time. But also, it did not drop to pick 'em immediately. Like, it slowly but surely moved down to 1.5, and then it went to 1, and then it went to a pick, and it wasn't at like every shop immediately dropped it. So it was a slow move. In fact, some spots now have the Vikings still favored by 1. I don't know. I mean, do you agree with the move to go to Jaren Hall?
No, I don't. I would have had Mullins start and put Mullins on a short leash. You're putting a rookie here with the season on the line? I don't understand the decision. Now, I know Mullins has killed him with the turnovers, but he's also been going up and down the field the last couple games. But you have to I guess he couldn't drill into his head about stop being stupid and making poor decisions and turning the ball over. But I would have said, Nick, it's your job, but you're gone if you make a mistake early. Stop throwing dumb interceptions. This is a tall task here with a rookie, and you don't have Hawkinson, too.
Right.
But you do get the right matchup, because as you talked about yesterday, this defense is horrendous, and Barry must have pictures of people. They're allowed 30 points per game, at least in their last 3 games. Mayfield and Tommy DeVito were players of the week, and Bryce Young threw for 300 yards.
Yeah, here's what those 3 quarterbacks combined to do the previous 3 weeks. 62 of 85, that's 73% completion percentage. 851 yards, 7 touchdowns, no INTs. Quarterback rating of 132. Again, Mayfield, DeVito, and Young. And so you made the move from Mullins, who just threw for 400 yards. I get the mistakes against the Lions, so a rookie quarterback in an important game. I was surprised by it. I didn't think we were going to get it this week.
Yep. And
yet here we are.
Yep.
So, and on top of that, you mentioned the injuries as well. So Joe Barry has to go at the end of the year as the DC of Green Bay. There's no Jair Alexander. What a mess that's been this week. The thought is here, you're just going to have to double Justin Jefferson the entire time, right?
Yep.
Keep it simple, stupid. Now that they have injuries, he's the best guy in the league, or one of them anyway. Just don't let him have 15 catches in the game.
Minnesota's defense has to stand up here. They did a bad job last week.
Yep.
You're supposed to win that game. And, this would have been a scary team with Cousins, but all the close games that they blew. You blow the Detroit game, Mullins throws 4 picks. You blow the game on Monday night, Dobbs throws 4 picks. You blew the game Sunday night in Denver, and the list goes on.
You blew the game against Cincinnati?
Oh, absolutely right. You're up 14 in the fourth quarter. Green Bay is plus 190 to make the playoffs, and the Vikings are a long shot now. And their defense is going to have to force some turnovers and help the rookie out. Who knows? Maybe they gash him on the ground with Chandler, and it's some gadget stuff that they run with Hall. But I took 2 in the game.
Okay. Yeah, I think the move here is to actually just keep it on the ground with Chandler. That should be the move, because you can also run on this. It's not a good defense.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect from this guy. But at least, you had a threat, and you were gashing people through the air with what Mullins had done the previous 2 games.
Mm-hmm. All right, Bengals are playing at the Chiefs. KC, this is you can find it at vsin.com. Steve Mackinnon has great numbers every single week. There's a lot to this. It doesn't happen very often. Teams to lose outright as a double-digit favorite inside their division are 13-2 straight up and 11-4 ATS since 2015, like the Chiefs did last week against the Raiders. The thought is, okay, they have a good week of practice. They get right mentally. They're focused. They bring their A game the following week. And now this is below the key number of 7, Pauly. Again, it opened north of that. And now the Chiefs are 6.5 in this game.
I got to see who plays, too. Pacheco with the concussion, Tony, Smith. You see if Chase plays with the Bengals. But I know what people are saying. Well, this defense is so bad. Look what Mullins did and look what Mason Rudolph did. I can't, Kansas City's offense, so it's awful. No one can get open. He's last in air yards per attempt. They're 500 at home.
Think about that for a second.
Yeah, that's right.
He's turned into a dink and dunk quarterback.
He has. 14-1 to the under, fourth quarter this year. 13-2 to the under, second half with the Chiefs. And they've lost 3 or 4.
Yep.
So you want to say, well, they got to win this and need the division, all this. We've been doing this all year. Trust me, we're going to get it fixed. We're going to be okay. Yeah. I said don't panic early. They're an average team, and this offense is awful.
Yeah, we're 4 months into the season now.
Yep.
The entire regular season. The offense, I mean, at this point they are, I mean, come on. They're going to flip it all of a sudden and go back to Mahomes' prime time years, and they're going to put 35 on the board every week. I don't see it happening.
You got to have Pacheco, too, and I don't know what that was last week with the helmet that kept flying off.
Yeah.
But it flew off back-to-back plays, and then he got the knee in the head.
Sure.
And he had the concussion. So if they don't have him, that's a big loss.
Now, there is some bulletin board material here because Jamar Chase was asked about the KC defense, and, here's what he had to say.
At the end of the day, it's so much that I can do myself. It's not like I'm Iron Man. I can't throw the football to myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a team sport. At the end of the day, it's just, I know what I see on paper, and I know what I see in game. That's why they double everybody, because they can't do it one-on-one. The best player on their team is Snead, and that's a fact. Everybody knows that. That's why they double everything they see. They just got, they drafted 2 new corners that's longer. They're trying to match Snead. That's why Snead at corner now. I already know it. Like, I'm not bugged about it. They know I'm good. They know how to play us. That's what it is, but it's not like they got a superstar on their defense.
He was dinged up in that championship game.
So he said that, keep this in mind, against non-division opponents, I think it goes back the last 3 or 4 years, Chase averages 123 yards per game against the Chiefs. It's the 3rd most for any receiver against a non-division opponent, minimum 3 games going back. Cooper Kupp against the Buccaneers kills him. He's number 1. Chase is 3rd and he had that great game 2 years ago, or a couple of years ago, right when they were making their run to the Super Bowl, where that's the game where he won the Rookie of the Year, basically. When he went nuts and he had 200-plus yards and he scored those touchdowns. And it's continued, though. He's had really good games against the defense overall.
Well, it's Browning, though. So that's he did not play well Saturday. He was terrible. And with turning the ball over, some of those interceptions were hideous. And I know everyone had the tweets ready to go. That's why the Vikings cut you and why you've been, bouncing around the league. So it's a tall task going on the road in a tough environment. But then again, we just watched them on Christmas where a team didn't complete a pass for 3 quarters and they beat. And I don't know what it is. Missing Bieniemy, the Nagy stuff. Does Nagy, some of these play, this gadget crap? What are you doing? They're a stupid team. Why are you running a gadget where Mahomes is you're going to flip it to Mahomes and he's going to hand it off at your own 10? You can't put down a nice drive, let alone now you're going to try some gadget stuff. And Kelsey's disappeared. It's been ugly.
Or they put him out, spread out wide left.
That too, right. And how bad are they in short yardage? 3rd and 1, forget it. 4th and short, forget it.
I used to love the creativity when Bieniemy was there. So that's exactly right. What's the deal then? Was it all Bieniemy? Is Nagy to blame? Is it the lack of receivers that are actually good on the rock? What is it overall? Andy Reid is an awesome offensive mind, one of the best of all time.
Yeah.
So what is it Kelsey being distracted with the Taylor Swift nonstop BS? I wonder what it's like in that locker room with Kelsey and Swift now for the last 3 months, and talked about it just over and over and over again.
Had a circus in town, all that.
Totally.
I don't know. I mean, they can't even line up properly.
Yeah. It's happened several times now.
I think you just point to the wide receivers, too, is a big reason why. And then and Mahomes had a bad year. Mahomes, he's a great player, but stop blaming other people.
I know. Every game.
It's
every
the
game
officials.
now.
Let's get the play in. Do this. Okay.
Where are you at with the Falcons game at the Bears?
I bet the Bears. This defense has been awesome. They're great against the run. They've held the opponents 4 in a row to 21 or fewer. They have this nice winning streak at home. I can't trust Atlanta on the road. 2-5 on the road? No, I can't get there with Heineke. And Art Smith blew this season.
Yep. I'm a little concerned about the Bears' potential injuries for this game.
All right.
Leading into it. We'll find out more today with the injury report. Could be key because we're talking about maybe Kmet, Mooney, and then DJ Moore was also like on the hurt, then not on the injury report. We'll find out more about that later on, probably after our show's over with. But here's the key that you pointed out. Since they made the trade for Montez Sweat, that was before week 9, I could run down 15 different categories right now. I won't. I'll keep it short. But EPA per play, passing EPA per play, explosive pass percentage, pressure percentage, against the run, all of it. The Bears are between top 3 and top 5 in the entire NFL across the board. They're 10th overall in allowing explosive rush percentage. That's the one where they're not like top 5. They've been that good.
I'm sorry, you got people playing for jobs here too. Keep Fields, keep the coaching staff, all of it. Yeah.
Eberflus probably knows.
If they win out, my God, they can still go over their win total. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
But if they win these next 2 games, they're probably going to keep people. I would move on from Fields, but
Fields is going to play like he wants to keep his job.
That's right, yeah.
For sure. I did see somebody bring up the idea that if they do go like Caleb Williams first overall, the Raiders would be a good spot for Justin Fields.
I could see that.
Yeah. I actually would be a fan of that idea. Assuming they bring in the right parts around him, meaning coaching staff, if it's going to be Pierce offensively, they make the right moves, and they don't give up a fortune for or however they're going to make that move happen.
Yeah. I think the total's too low. Don't you? 38? I think there'll be points.
The Falcons are the weirdest team maybe this entire year to figure out.
What happened? I know it was a monsoon, but what happened at Carolina? Atlanta lost to Carolina and Arizona on the road. I mean, keep that in mind.
Yep. Up next, more NFL. You see this yet? His anytime touchdown prop is one of the highest I've ever seen for any player. That's coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Juice Reel, a free betting intelligence app and a tool every bettor needs. It links your betting accounts into one app, delivers in-depth analytics on your betting history. You have access to the betting history of billions of bets placed by all Juice Reel users. In-depth betting analytics, billions of data points, tail the winners, fade the losers. The AI bots hitting 60%, more than 100 games. REEL. Download the free app in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store. It's free. Juice Reel. Juice Reel, REEL. Go get it today.
All right, so the 49ers are down to 12.5 against Commanders in their matchup on Sunday. It was not pretty on Christmas night at home against Baltimore, as we all know. I recall a couple years ago when the Colts had to have a game to make the playoffs. They went to Jacksonville, and Jonathan Taylor was having a great year. He was minus 440 at one sports book on the opener that I saw to score a touchdown. He did not score a touchdown in that game. That was the year that he had. He was like in the MVP discussion. I think he had 20 touchdowns on the year. Did not score in that game. Tony Pollard, I think, this year got to close, if not higher, in one of the games against a really bad football team. The game on Sunday has McCaffrey. At the price here on him at DraftKings to score a touchdown against Commanders is minus 425.
Oh, man.
To score once. That's 81.
If he scores 2, he ties the franchise record, Jerry Rice.
Have you seen the number on that? To score 2 touchdowns, he's plus 120. To score 3, he's plus 360.
Yeah.
So minus 425, the conversion there is about an 81% chance to score. And some people might say, well, he's absolutely going to score. 81% is too low. Then if you find value in it, then you can still lay minus 425. I would not do that. I would never lay that much because too many things can happen, and there are too many other bets to make, by the way. I'm not going to get involved in a guy at minus 425 to score a touchdown. Not worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah, okay. Well, typical Ron Rivera. The season's over, and he makes a quarterback change and takes the young guy out. Now, Howell had been atrocious. He'd lead the league in interceptions, and it's been ugly the last couple of weeks. And he puts Brissett in there, and he's been great the last couple of weeks, and they were down big and rallied, and should have beat the Jets. The over looks too easy here. But the other angle is, what if Purdy is shook? What if Purdy is still banged up with the stinger? During the losing streak, he wasn't healthy and he wasn't playing well. And that was a big reason why they had the losing streak. But it's a mental game as well. And do you lose confidence? To be as bad as he was on this big stage and everyone's watching the biggest game of the season, and you throw that many interceptions, now he's got to shake it off and say, hey, we're still the best team, and I gotta get this right and get this fixed. But if there's an early turnover, early interception, I'm worried about the kid mentally.
I'll give you this. Again, vsin.com. Teams that committed 5 turnovers or more are 6-22-1 ATS when favored in their next game since 2012. When they play away from home, they're 3-15 straight up, and they're 2-16 ATS. Now, this has been a correction. Like when West Coast teams travel to the East Coast, it's gotten better over the years, but not when they're on short rest. So that includes the Chargers, Seahawks, Rams, Raiders, Cardinals, 49ers. When they've been in this spot, it's 23 times last 20 years. They are 8-14-1 ATS, flying from West Coast to East Coast on short rest. So you have that, the game after the 5 turnovers, Purdy's potential injury. I know it looks easy because of the Washington defense.
Right.
I don't know, man. Maybe Brissett comes out and they get a huge spark, and he's not going to be the turnover machine that we've seen with Howell.
No, he won't be. I think they will move the ball. I think it's too many points. And probably they'll lose by 10 in this game or 7 or something like that. But he's been great when he's been in there. Mm-hmm. And I don't agree with the move. It's bizarre, but certainly he'll put up better numbers and do a better job than Howell. But it's a lost season, and then and the 49ers got to get this turned around now. So you don't want to overreact. It was one loss. It was horrific how he played. But you would think if they would play again tomorrow, you'd take the Niners on a neutral against Baltimore. Hopefully that's a Super Bowl, but they got to get this figured out, and we'll see if Shanahan can coach them up.
This is why I think the decision for the Bears, assuming the Panthers get the number 1 overall pick and it's going to go to Chicago, this is why the decision is going to be, I think, a little bit harder than what people think. There was one report yesterday saying that the Commanders will do whatever they can to get Caleb Williams. He's from the area, played high school football there.
Yeah.
And they have targeted him, and they want him. Well, he's not going to be there at number 3 where they're picking right now. He's probably going to go number 1. So what would a team like Washington with new ownership be willing to give up? We saw what the Panthers were willing to give up to go from 9-1, last year. Mm-hmm. So maybe the Bears just look at it and say, this is way too much. We have to take this deal, and we're going to stick with Justin Fields.
Yeah. Would you also, if you're Shanahan, you can treat him like Garoppolo at the end. Remember the playoff game against Minnesota? Just run the ball and don't even throw it. Your rushing attack and offensive line are so good. And then you can do the dink and dunk and rely on the yak, too.
Sure.
If he comes out with the early interception. But keep an eye on this early and see how the kid plays. I hope he's got to get it corrected. So it was a bad game. Let's not overreact, but he's got to get straight and get this. First things first, get the 1 seed. That's enormous. Win this game.
No kidding. I know you like the Buccaneers.
Love them.
There was money on the Saints this weekend to bring it down from 3.
Don't get it.
To 2.5.
Good luck. It's Carr. Not with my money.
Yeah, I don't like the guy either. I will point out a couple of things here. Saints 12-3 straight up and ATS last 15 in same season rematches, 11-1 last 12. They're 15-1 ATS last 16 on the road. They have 5 straight wins ATS in Tampa.
Yep. A lot of that's Peyton though. This is Dennis Allen.
That and right, and it's totally different team with the Buccaneers too.
Yep. And every year now, Dennis Allen has gone under the win total. Tampa's won 4 in a row. During this stretch, Baker's completing 63%, 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception. They win the division with a win. They have been cooking here offensively. They blew out the Saints in the first meeting. The Jacksonville game was over early. And I don't think Carr's going to be able to do much either. And rest assured, the big mistake will happen with this guy. It happens every week. Who takes more sacks and throws the ball away on 4th down than this guy?
Well, throwing the ball away on 4th down,
that's
a specialty.
So, right. I think Tampa gets it done, gets the win, and they're going to win the division. And I don't agree with the move here as well. Can I throw one thing at you, too? Do you have thoughts on the game? The total, maybe? You think that want to go over?
No, because it's the Saints and their defense on the road.
It's been
42, bad. Yeah. I have nothing in this game. I would consider teasing the Saints, actually, up to 8.5.
All right.
At this point.
So I'm driving after the show. I'm listening to our friends on a local ESPN. We know Ed Graney. I was listening to Ed Graney. They brought up a good point. It's a huge game here with the Colts and the Raiders. Huge. Remember what Pierce said when he got the job?
Well, he said several things.
Okay. One of them was O'Connell gives us the best chance to win. No, he doesn't.
No.
Where is Jimmy Garoppolo?
That's a good point.
You can make the playoffs. You can still win this division. It's not nuts to say you can make the playoffs, though. You're only a 3-point dog, and then you close with Denver.
Right.
You have a nasty defense. Crosby's a game wrecker. We've talked about it ad nauseum. The weapons that they have. Why does this offense stink? You cannot put O'Connell out here. He does not give you the best chance to win. You lost at home 3-0. You just won a game. He didn't complete a pass for 3 quarters. It's enough already. Mm-hmm. You got to put Garoppolo in here, and he gives you the best chance to win. Unless Davis told him, it's like the Kyler Murray situation. If he gets hurt, we owe him all this money. Don't play Garoppolo. You can make the playoffs. You cannot put O'Connell out there. He's been atrocious in a couple of these games. That's the one thing. But it's right there how well they're playing. But you just look at the rating, the offensive numbers here, and all the metrics. You're 28th offensively. You're 31st with the run. You can't get the ball to Adams. You couldn't complete a pass for 3 quarters. It's ridiculous that Garoppolo isn't your quarterback Sunday.
What does that say about the state of the defense, by the way? It's a very good unit.
Yes, it's been solid.
I mean, they did not score any points at all against Minnesota.
Yeah.
And they lost that game 3-0 in the final 2 minutes of the game. Then the offense has the explosion against the Chargers because, again, that was dead man walking. Staley was gone. They quit. And then fast forward to what happened on Christmas Day. You went to Arrowhead as a 10-point dog, and you completely shut down Mahomes and the offense, and you did not score an offensive touchdown. And you had 0 yards passing beyond the first quarter, and you still won that game. The defense is absolutely legit. It has been the entire year.
Yeah. That's
the reason why you have the record. It has nothing to do with the running game, although he likes to pound it on the ground 40 times a game, evidently, and that's not going to change if he gets the head coaching job. But you brought the guy in, and by the way, have they even brought this up? Has this been talked about locally at all, and why Jimmy G has not been back, why he's not even an option?
We've seen enough. He's not your quarterback next year. You're going to draft someone or sign somebody.
Oh, there's no chance.
I'm talking about O'Connell.
Yeah, there's no way they can go to war with him next year.
You got to put Garoppolo out here. This is malpractice. It's like what O'Connell was doing. He waited so long to pull Dobbs.
Yeah.
And then they would have won. He would have probably beat the Bears and won that Denver game if he put Mullins in. And now he's sick with Mullins, and he puts Hall in. He's all over the map.
I wonder, what if they're in this game on Sunday and they fall behind by like 7, and it's O'Connell's fault, and he's doing nothing, and he's bad again? Do we see a change at halftime?
You have to. I can't believe they're starting him again. That's embarrassing. And if they won, great job. You didn't complete a pass for 3 quarters.
Right.
You got Renfro. You have Adams. You have Myers. This is unacceptable.
Right. You won, and that kid had nothing to do with the win whatsoever. Up next, we'll talk to Mike Detillier from WWL in New Orleans. He's covered the NFL and SEC for a long, long time. Get his thoughts on Bama and Michigan coming up next.
Smarter than VSiN has the perfect holiday gift for you. Sign up holiday special today. Get VSiN Pro access. Everything we do through May 1st, $79. Unlimited access to the daily best bets, betting splits, premium analysis, 24/7 video, and all the betting guides. Limited time holiday offer. VSiN.com/subscribe. VSiN.com/subscribe.
I love talking to our next guest. Mike Detillier joins the program now, college and pro football analyst with WWL in New Orleans. Follow him on X. He's at Mike Detillier. Mike, it's a pleasure to have you on the program again today. How are you?
Thanks a lot, guys. Always my pleasure.
Yep. You've been covering SEC football, all of it, for, college football in general, the NFL for many, many, many years, and you've watched Nick Saban coach at Alabama now for a long time, and, just year in and year out what he's put together here as a program. They are a 2-point dog against Michigan in the Rose Bowl on Monday, on New Year's Day, in the first semifinal game. You've had a long time to think about the matchups here in the game. What do you think about Saban catching points in this spot against Jim Harbaugh and the Wolverines?
Well, you didn't get rich betting against Saban. That's all I can tell you. We know it a lot here in the SEC, but this may be his best coaching job ever at Alabama. When I look at it, I thought last year, the way it was set up for him, with Bryce Young, with Jahmyr Gibbs, Will Anderson Jr., man, Brian Branch was a terrific player for them. You think about Jordan Battle, Henry Tuatua on defense. I thought that was the team that would win the national championship. I really did, because it was set up that way. And you lose again to LSU on a 2-point play at the end of the final play of the game, and then you lose on a field goal to Tennessee on the final play of the game. It almost like it was reversed. I thought this team would be a 10-win team, but have a couple losses, and it was close. Now, that Auburn game was as razor close as you can get, but it was his best coaching job. The uncertainty at quarterback. You had some offensive line issues early on. His teams are always going to play really good defense, and they got the best two set of cornerbacks in college football right now. That, you know what? I ain't betting against him. And I've just seen too many times you give him that much time to set up for a game. And you know what he's going to use? Us against the world. How many times could he say that?
Yeah.
At Alabama.
Yeah.
And it's not many, but everybody thinks Michigan's the better team, and and they got more talent, everything else, and they always kind of. He is going to use that. I know exactly how he is, because he was here at LSU. He did the exact same thing. I think Alabama wins this game and wins it outright against Michigan.
Okay. How about the game in your backyard, Texas and Washington?
And that one's tight. Texas a 4-point favorite. I would take Washington in the points, but I think Texas wins it in a razor close game. What I've been impressed with Texas, I thought going into the year, they could always put points up because they were explosive across the board. But how well could they play defense? And it surprised me how well they played, much better up front in the trenches than I thought they would throughout the year. Washington is dangerous because of Michael Penix Jr., and he gives you a lot of hot points that you have to try to stop. And he's got NFL receivers. Yep. I mean, those guys are going to play at the next level. And so, you know what? I think Texas wins the game. But at 4 points, man, give me that because this could come down to a field goal. And all I know is this is going to be a home game for Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And listen, I go to the city every day. It is burnt orange now. Burnt orange in New Orleans. All the Texas people, and I've never seen it. You know, I'm 60 years old, and I've never seen 2 billboards as I'm driving downtown in New Orleans, hook 'em horns.
Wow.
Yeah.
Get the hook 'em horns billboard up.
How bad? 90-10? 80-20? Texas fans?
I would think it's going to be at least 80-20.
Okay.
That's all I saw yesterday.
Yeah, sure.
Headed to the station was nothing but Texas fans. I leave the station. I talked to a few of them. They were at a little corner restaurant bar, and it was, you can tell, Texas has invaded Louisiana, and it's going to be a home field advantage for the Longhorns.
Very good. I know Paul Stone told us that weeks ago as well, and Mike backing it up. Season on the line for the Saints. What do you think of the Saints' chances going to Tampa? Line came down a little bit. Tampa laying 2.5. Baker's been hot.
He sure has, and Saints have been massively disappointing with talent on offense.
Yes.
They haven't gotten it together. I think a lot of people, it's not so much they back the Saints. I think people feel that, okay, the Bucs have won 4 in a row. Can they win 5? I think that's more in play than anything else. I think the Bucs win it Sunday. I really do. I think Baker's been the biggest surprise in the NFC as far as an individual player. How well he's played all season long. And the first game, I'll be honest, guys, it was 26-9, 26-9 win for Tampa. The score was no indication how dominant the Bucs were. The Saints didn't get a sniff in that game,
right,
other than early on with a field goal. So the other thing, when the Saints always played Tampa, it was the matchup Mike Evans against Marshawn Lattimore. And Lattimore always sort of put him in his hip pocket. Did a great job against Evans. Guess what? No Lattimore this week.
Yep.
So Mike Evans, who is Baker's favorite target, gets the run here. Here's the crazy stat with the Saints. They have had 5 losses against the Texans, Jaguars, Vikings, Lions, Rams. They have not had to lead 1 second in any of those games.
Ooh.
And then the 5 losses. If Tampa jumps on them early, it may be all over. But I like Tampa here. I'm surprised the line. It is what it is.
I totally agree.
But I think a lot of people are betting more against the Bucks can't win 5 in a row more than they really support the Saints.
Interesting. You have a vote. Who's your coach of the year and comeback player of the year?
Oh, my God. Flacco would get that. I mean, nobody saw this coming. No one saw this coming. And you lose your starting 2 tackles. Deshaun goes down. You lose Nick Chubb. And look where they're at today. I mean, it's amazing what he's been able to do at 38 years old. And he was never a runner to begin with. But he moves a little bit left, a little bit right, and he buys a little bit of time. And he has still got a rifle to throw the football downfield. And so I'm very, very impressed with him and what he's been able to do overall. My coach of the year would be D'Amico Ryans and what he's done with Houston. Just think about what he took over, what he had, rookie quarterback, a massive changeover personnel-wise. And he doesn't fit what the NFL normally thinks are successful coaches. He's a defensive-oriented coach. Because they want to push the offense. What he's done in Houston to get them competitive and still in a playoff hunt has been remarkable to watch. What he's done with the Texans. And think last year at this time, they were one. Well, they had a win, which knocked them out of the top spot of having the first overall pick in the draft. And so, man, D'Amico, when you look at what he took over and what he's done, has been fantastic. They had some great. Stefanski's done outstanding work, certainly with Cleveland. You would have to take a long look at that also and how he's been able to piece that together. But, man, what D'Amico Ryans has done, fantastic work.
Mike, we have
on a bad football team.
No kidding.
Yeah.
We have about 45 seconds here. Does it matter to you as a person with a vote if the Texans make the playoffs or not?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
I just think he's put them in that position to be there. And that, to me, no one could have thought that to start the season. No one.
Oh, they were graded out as one of the worst teams going into the year again with a win total of 6.5.
Yeah. And guess who also had 6? The Bucks.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Great spot as always. Follow him on X. He's at Mike Detillier. Has covered college football, the SEC, and the NFL for a long, long time. WWL in New Orleans. We love talking to you, Mike. Happy New Year. Thanks so much for the time.
Thanks a lot, guys. Happy New Year, both of you guys.
You too, sir.
There you go. There's one vote for D'Amico Ryans. Doesn't matter if they make the playoffs.
Wrong.
Good to know. Yep. More games coming up on Sunday. We'll talk about short rest and coast-to-coast travel. This guy's been awesome in both.
What a deal at DraftKings. New customers can bet $5 and pocket $150 in bonus bets instantly, and you'll get the NBA League Pass for the rest of the season. Download the app, use promo code VSiN when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours.
About 15 minutes. Adam Chernoff's going to make his weekly appearance on the show. He has a strong opinion on that Raiders-Colts game. Find out who he likes in that spot. Rams are playing at the Giants. Rams down to 5 in this game. McVay in his career versus teams on short rest. 13-5 straight up. ATS as well. He's also 14-6 straight up, 13-5-2 ATS in the Eastern time zone. So this is, we've talked about that, how that's flipped now over the last handful of years. West Coast teams traveling to the East Coast, he's Exhibit A.
Yep.
So he's done a great job here. The Giants are 43-21 under since 2020. Rams 41-29 under in that same time. Numbers available at vsin.com. Are you surprised that we've had Giants money this week with Tyrod Taylor as the quarterback?
No, I'm not. No. Much better option than Tommy DeVito. And now the 15 minutes is up for Tommy. I like the over in this game. The Rams are hot. Rams need it. At DraftKings, they're now minus 250 to make the playoffs. They were 3-6. They've won 5 of 6. The only loss in overtime at Baltimore. Should have won. Stafford during that stretch since the bye, 15 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. But here you go. The Giants are 29th against the run. And Williams has 5 100-yard games in his last 7. I mean, this is scary now what they're doing. I got Williams, I got Robinson, I got Kupp, I got Puka. Puka's got 96 for 1,300. He has plus 330 at William Hill to win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Oh, man.
This has really come down big time. Well, I got to see what Stroud does.
What a weird week it's been for Stroud again.
Yep.
D'Amico Ryans comes out and he says he's in the 4th level of the concussion protocol, 4th stage.
Yeah.
Did you know that we had 5 stages of the concussion protocol? I had no idea.
Well, it's been bizarre all year, right? Carr gets one every week, still plays.
Yeah.
Lawrence comes out, plays. Other guys, it's like, okay, we won't see you for a couple.
Or I should say, I didn't know that they would evaluate like after every single stage like that and say he's got 2 more stages to go at that point.
Well, he had back-to-back, though, as I understand it. He got concussions back-to-back games, which...
Yeah. That's usually like probably a good idea to be a season ender, to be honest. Remember what happened to Tua last year?
Yeah.
The talk was, can the guy ever play again? I saw some numbers this week, advanced like EPA numbers, expected points added per play. When Stafford, Williams, Puka, and Kupp are on the field at the same time, Rams are number 1 overall in many, many categories. That's how good the offense has been. And Paul Charchian came on the show yesterday, had a great breakdown from like week 10 on for Stafford. The guy's been phenomenal. And the passing, output, the performances, fantasy-wise, overall, all of it. He's just been super sharp. And no, you're right. I mean, I would rather lay the number when it was 6 against Tommy DeVito than lay 5 right now against Tyrod Taylor.
Mm-hmm. They're going to move the ball at will on him, though. But you can't give this one away because you have the 49ers on deck. And the Niners are going to need it now after stubbing their toe Monday night. So
that's exactly right.
This is one the Rams have to have.
Is there a chance that we're going to get Clayton Tune in Arizona?
It's possible, I guess, yeah. That maybe Arizona's realizing let's not play Kyler Murray in meaningless games and he gets hurt. And
He's
then
also sick.
Yeah, that too.
He's been sick this week, so
yeah, right.
I would ask them, and I hope they're doing this like locally in Phoenix this week, what's the point? Why would you force it? If Kyler Murray has been sick this week, and you can actually, if you win one of these games, you can destroy where you're at. You want to pick as high as possible at this point if you're Arizona. You want to have that draft capital.
That's right. And you play Seattle next week, and they need it. So right, yeah, right. Yeah, you're on it. You're on it.
The smart move here is to punt and say, Murray, Kyler, buddy, you're not going to play the rest of the year.
You got shut out and tuned through for 50 yards in the only game against Cleveland.
I mean, where does this number go? And it was, again, this dropped to 9.5 earlier in the week, and now back up to 11.5 today. Where does this number go if it's Clayton Tune, Paul, and you have you bet the Eagles right now 11.5?
Yep.
You're going to be sitting on some serious CLV. Having said that, I don't know who the quarterback's going to be for the Cardinals.
Right. I wouldn't play him. It doesn't make sense to play him. If he does play, though, can Philly cover this big number? I mean, again, we've talked about it. When's the last time they played a good game? A full 60 minutes. Arizona's 1-7 on the road. One at Pittsburgh. Hurts, 18 turnovers this year. And the pick 6 wasn't his fault, but you look like you're going to blow out the Giants, and then you fumble the kickoff, you get the pick 6, you couldn't put him away. Next thing you know, you're in a game.
Yep. I will say if Murray goes and he's a full go, that would also put me on the over for the game.
All right.
Because I think we'd have some points. Hurts at home as a favorite. 18-1 straight up. 13-5-1 ATS. The average line minus 7.3 points in that game.
Right there for you, though, to win the division and get the 2 seed.
Yep.
And still an outside chance if the Niners blow this. But, I mean, come on. You're playing Arizona at home and you play the Giants again.
Yeah, we have one game tomorrow night. Detroit's playing at Dallas. Money coming in on Detroit yesterday as the Cowboys are now sitting as a 4.5-point favorite here. The Cowboys are 12-3 ATS their last 15 primetime games. They're 12-2 ATS when coming off a straight-up loss since 2021. They were coming off a loss last week, too, and they lost by 2 points in that spot. Totals of 50-plus last 2 years are 27-12 to the under. We don't see these very much anymore, at least this year anyway, because this was sitting at 53.5. It was the highest total of the entire year. Mm-hmm. That was commonplace for a long time.
I don't get it. I think you get a Detroit letdown here. I love the spot for Dallas. Got to get right coming off the 2-game losing streak. 15 in a row at home. They're averaging 40 points per game at home. Number 1 in the league. The Lions are 23rd against the pass. They couldn't stop Nick Mullins. What do you think Dak and Lamb are going to do? They're going to be salivating here. Lamb going for 104 yards per game at home with 7 touchdowns. I think they'll force a couple turnovers against Goff. I think if Detroit moves the ball, it'll be more on the ground as this leaky Dallas run defense has had issues. But they're +8 in the turnover battle. I think they'll take it away a couple times, and I don't think Dak will have any problems moving it up and down the field. No. I have to trust this team at home. Not only is it the 15 in a row, but it's 7-0 this year at home and 6-1 ATS.
Now, if I'm sitting here, Dan Campbell, Ben Johnson, I'm going to look a lot at that Buffalo Bills tape against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I understand that in that game, the Cowboys had a bunch of guys that were sick. I get that. But that's where Allen did nothing offensively, and it was all James Cook, and they were running the football. I would look at that quite a bit, and I would look at some of the designs that Mike McDaniel came up with last week because he's so good at the running game for Miami, and he was like the architect behind the running game as well in San Francisco. So I would look at those 2 games quite a bit and say that's the angle here. That's the attack. That's how we prepare for Dallas's defense, and we have Gibbs and we have Montgomery, and that way we don't have to have Goff win in like this crazy shootout where he's got to outscore Dak, which probably would not go very well for the Lions overall. And I think that makes a lot of sense to me because that's where, as you said, the Cowboys can be had defensively. And they have a great offensive line, the Lions do, and they have kind of that 2-headed attack. And I think Gibbs is a beast. I love that dude.
Yep. Since the bye, they gave up 38 to the Chargers, 26 to the Bears, 29 to the Packers, 28 to New Orleans, 28 to the Bears, 24 to the Vikings and Nick Mullins.
And it could have been more than that.
It should have been. Mullins threw for 411 yards and had 4 interceptions. You know where the ball was going because Hockenson and Addison got hurt. Jefferson still had 141.
Yep.
And then guys are running wide open, but Mullins missed them, and he kept turning the ball over as he blew that game. So I think Dak's gonna eat, and they're gonna. I'm shocked at the movement here. It's a horrible spot. You win. You still celebrating. Everyone's kissing your ass in Detroit. You win the division for the first time in 30 years.
That's big.
And now you got to go out and a short week, and you take it on Dallas, and they're going to be in a bad mood, and they're at home and won 15 in a row.
Yep.
They're going to win by a touchdown, maybe more.
I would, just for the MVP alone, I would love to see the Dolphins win in Baltimore this week and Tua have a really good game because I would love to throw it just for a total loop one more time before Week 18. And then Tua is the shortest shot on the board, or McCaffrey if he has a big game. I would find it hilarious if that were to happen. Mm-hmm. Doesn't look like Waddle's going to go. Again, the advanced numbers, Baltimore's passing defense is absolutely elite. It's the best in football. They're coming off of a spectacular performance on the road on Christmas night against the 49ers. Now back home, this has not been a good spot for teams in that spot. Same exact thing here for the Ravens over the years. Has not gone well. I also think that missing Waddle is going to be really, really big for the passing game.
I agree. And this gets wild if Miami loses this game. If Miami loses and Buffalo wins, next week's for the division. Incredible. Baltimore's minus 350 at DraftKings to get the 1 seed. Miami's plus 250. Cleveland 25-1, as I said earlier.
Tua's been awesome at home compared to on the road. Imagine if they did not blow that in the final 4 minutes against Tennessee, they'd be sitting in a great spot for the 1 seed overall.
Yeah, killer.
And
that is a huge loss.
Under that scenario you just presented, they go from the 1 to the 5? Have fun.
6 maybe.
6 maybe.
I have to look at the tiebreakers. Yeah, it could be 6.
We'll talk to Adam Chernoff coming up next on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.